Have you ever wondered if they're actually sleeping peacefully while your world feels like it's falling apart in the dark? You've finally gone no contact, and the silence in your room is heavy, almost loud enough to keep you awake. You imagine them drifting off without a care, but there's a secret ritual they perform every night that would change everything you think you know about their power. I know you're sitting there, perhaps scrolling through old photos or staring at a blank screen, wondering if you even mattered. The darkness has a way of magnifying that ache, making you feel like the only person in the world who is hurting. But I want you to take a deep breath. You aren't alone in this. What is happening on the other side of that silence is not the victory you think it is. When you go no contact, you aren't just blocking a number, you're cutting off a life support system. For a narcissist, the night is when the shadows get long and the distractions of the day start to fade away. Without your energy to feed on, they are left with something they absolutely despise: themselves. It's a terrifying prospect for someone who has spent their entire life running from the truth. You might think they are out celebrating their freedom or laughing with someone new. And sure, they might put on that performance for the world to see. But the performance has to end eventually. When the lights go out and the phone is the only glow in the room, the mask doesn't just slip, it falls off completely. The person you see in that moment isn't the predator, it's a hollowed-out shell. Think about the energy it takes to maintain a lie for years. To wake up every day and craft a reality where you are the hero and everyone else is the villain. That kind of psychological labor is exhausting. By the time the sun goes down, they are emotionally spent, but they cannot rest. They are stuck in a cycle of seeking external validation just to prove to themselves that they actually exist. The silence you've created by leaving is the one thing they cannot control. Control is their oxygen, and you've just sucked it out of the room. Every night, they have to confront the fact that they no longer have a grip on your mind, your heart, or your schedule. It's a psychological itch they can't scratch, and it drives them into a state of quiet, desperate agitation that most people never see. They will try to fill that void with anything: food, alcohol, endless scrolling, or the shallow attention of strangers. But none of it tastes like the deep, authentic supply you used to provide. You were the mirror that reflected a good version of them back to themselves. Without that mirror, they are looking into a black hole, and the gravity of their own choices is starting to pull them in. I want you to understand that their peace is a staged production. It's a curated image designed to make you feel small. But behind the curtain, there is no peace. There is only a frantic search for the next hit of dopamine to keep the self-loathing at bay. They are not missing you as a person. They are missing the way you made them feel like they weren't the monster they fear they are. As you lie in bed tonight, remember that your pain is real because your love was real. Their emptiness is real because their identity is a fabrication. The night doesn't belong to them anymore. You've reclaimed it, even if it feels heavy right now. We are going to peel back the layers of what they do in those late-night hours, so you can finally see the smallness of the person you feared. This isn't just about their behavior, it's about your liberation. By seeing the truth of their nightly spiral, you can stop projecting your own capacity for empathy onto them. They aren't mourning a loss, they are managing a deficit. And once you see the mechanics of their desperation, the hold they have over your thoughts will start to crumble. Let's look at what really happens when the screen glows blue. To understand a narcissist at night, you have to understand the concept of object constancy. For them, if you aren't providing supply, you almost cease to be a real human being. You become a broken toy. But the problem with a broken toy is that it leaves a hole in the toy box. Every night, they stare at that hole and feel a mounting sense of panic that their world is no longer complete. They are like a phone with a battery that won't hold a charge. They need to be plugged into someone else to feel on. When you go no contact, you pull the plug. At night, that battery level drops into the red. They begin to feel a physical and psychological restlessness. It's not lovesickness, it's a withdrawal from a drug. They are addicts, and you were their most reliable and high-quality fix. Their internal dialogue is a chaotic mess of projection and denial. They will spend hours telling themselves why you were the problem, why you were crazy, and why they are better off. But if they were truly better off, they wouldn't need to spend the night convincing themselves of it. A person at peace doesn't need a manifesto of self-justification just to fall asleep. They are arguing with a ghost. This is when the revisionist history happens. They sit in the dark and rewrite every memory of your relationship. They turn your kindness into weakness and your boundaries into betrayals. By the time they close their eyes, they've managed to turn you into the villain of the story. It's a survival mechanism. If they admit you were good, they have to admit they are bad. And that is a death sentence. Most narcissists suffer from chronic insomnia or highly disrupted sleep. Because the subconscious mind knows the truth. While the conscious mind is busy spinning lies, the body stays in a state of high alert. They are waiting for the threat of accountability to find them. They are hypervigilant even in their own homes, because their entire life is built on a foundation of shifting sand. You might imagine them sleeping like a baby, but the reality is often a series of micronaps, interrupted by the urge to check their phone. They are looking for a notification, a like, a sign that they still matter to the world. They are searching for a digital pulse. If the world is quiet, they feel like they are disappearing. The lack of noise feels like a literal erasure of their entire existence. They often engage in cyber-hoovering during these hours. They aren't just looking at your profile, they are looking at who is liking your photos, who you are following, and what vibe you're putting out. They are looking for a crack in your armor. They want to see you suffering because your suffering is proof of their power. If you look happy, it's like a physical blow to their fragile ego. There is a profound sense of entitlement that fuels their nightly frustration. They feel you owe them your attention. The fact that you have chosen to be silent is seen as an act of supreme aggression. They sit there feeling victimized by your boundaries. In their mind, your no contact isn't a healthy choice for your soul. It's a weapon you are using to punish them. They are the ultimate victim. Metaphorically, they are like a shark that has to keep moving to breathe. But at night, there is nowhere to go. They are circling the same three thoughts. How dare they? I don't need them. And who can I get instead? It's a predatory loop. They are scanning their contact list, looking for an old flame or a flying squirrel, who will give them a quick ego boost to get them through until morning. They are terrified of the dark because the dark is where the truth lives. In the daylight, they can distract themselves with work, status, and social climbing. But at midnight, the status doesn't matter. The expensive car in the driveway doesn't talk back. The only thing in the room is their own reflection, and without your admiration to soften the image, that reflection is cold, harsh, and empty. Then comes the moment the shift happens. The peak of the night when the frustration turns into a calculated tactical move. They realize that their usual tricks aren't working. The silent treatment they used to use on you has backfired because you've adopted it as your shield. This is the turning point where the narcissist stops being a wounded child and starts becoming a psychological strategist. They will pick up the phone, and their thumb will hover over your name. They want to send that, "I was just thinking of you" text or the "I found your old sweater" message. Not because they care, but because they need to know the door isn't locked. They need to see that little typing bubble appear. That bubble is the proof that they still own a piece of your mental real estate. It's a game. But then they stop. Not because of respect, but because of pride. They can't bear the thought of reaching out and being ignored. The idea of seen with no reply is a humiliation they can't risk. So they put the phone down and the anger intensifies. This is the narcissistic rage that happens in total silence. It's a cold, white-hot fury that someone like you dared to leave someone like them. This is when they might pivot to their new supply. If they have someone else lined up, they will use this time to love bomb them with a ferocity that is almost scary. They aren't doing it because they love the new person. They are doing it to spite you in their own mind. Every "I love you" they send to someone else is a hidden "I don't need you" aimed directly at your heart, even if you can't see it. They might start posting thirst traps or cryptic quotes on their story at 2 a.m. It's a digital flare sent into the night. They are hoping you are watching. They are hoping you are hurting. They are fishing for a reaction, any reaction. Negative attention is still attention, and for a narcissist, it's better to be hated than to be forgotten. To be forgotten is to be truly, finally dead. Watch the patterns of their behavior. It's always reactive, never proactive. Everything they do at night is a reaction to the void you left behind. They are trying to reconstruct a reality where they are still the center of the universe. They will call people they haven't spoken to in years, just to see if they can still charm them. It's a series of ego tests to ensure their powers are intact. If you could see them in these moments, you wouldn't feel intimidated. You would feel a profound sense of pity. There is something so deeply pathetic about a grown adult who cannot sit in a quiet room for 20 minutes without needing to manipulate someone's perception of them. It's a frantic, disorganized energy. They are like a magician whose tricks have all been revealed to the audience. The turning point for you is realizing that their power was always a projection of your own light. You were the one bringing the warmth, the empathy, and the stability. Now that you've taken your light and gone home, they are sitting in the cold. They are trying to strike matches in a windstorm, and they can't understand why they can't get a fire started anymore. The fuel is gone. You were the fuel. They will eventually try to convince themselves that they allowed you to leave. They will tell a story where they were the one who walked away, even if you were the one who blocked them. This secondary narrative is what allows them to finally close their eyes. They have to lie to themselves one last time just to get a few hours of shallow, restless sleep. It's a fragile, temporary peace. As the sun begins to hint at the horizon, they feel a sense of relief. The daylight brings the chance to put the mask back on. They can go out into the world and pretend again. But the night has taken its toll. The lines on their face are a bit deeper. The bitterness in their heart is a bit sharper. They have survived another night without supply, but the hunger is only getting worse. As the days of no contact turn into weeks, the nightly ritual begins to degrade. The narcissist enters what we call the collapse. This isn't just sadness, it's a total breakdown of their operating system. The strategies that worked for decades, the gaslighting, the hoovering, the triangulation, are failing against your silence. The consequences of their own toxicity are finally catching up to them. At night, this collapse looks like a frantic search for meaning in a life built on shadows. They look around their home and realize that everything in it is a prop. Their relationships are transactional. Their friends are just fans or associates. There is no one they can call at 3 a.m. who actually knows the real them. The realization of their own profound isolation starts to weigh like lead. They start to feel the physical effects of the stress. The body keeps the score, and for a narcissist, the bill is coming due. They might experience phantom pains, digestive issues, or a crushing weight in their chest. They will never admit it's psychological. They will tell people they have a mystery illness, or that they are working too hard. It's another way to garner sympathy. This is the stage where they might actually start to stalk. Not just digitally, but physically. They might drive by your house or happen to be at your favorite grocery store. They are looking for a hit of your energy. Even a look of disgust from you is better than the nothingness they are currently experiencing. They are spiraling into a place where they will trade their dignity for a glance. The consequence of their behavior is the loss of the ideal self. For a long time, they believed they were special, untouchable, and superior. But your silence is a constant, nagging reminder that they are replaceable. You moved on. You chose yourself. That choice is a direct insult to their grandiosity. They are losing the battle against the reality of their own commonness and their own cruelty. They begin to project their self-hatred onto everyone around them. Their new supply starts to see the cracks. The late-night arguments, the sudden coldness, the demands for constant reassurance. The narcissist is burning through people at an accelerated rate because they are trying to replace a high-quality connection with cheap substitutes. It's like trying to run a Ferrari on kerosene. You might hear rumors about them, that they are going through a hard time or that they've changed. Don't be fooled. This is the pity play. They are using their own collapse as a tool to try and pull you back in. They know your empathy is your greatest strength, so they will try to weaponize it against you. They are playing a character, the tragic hero who has been wrongly abandoned. The truth is, they are facing the one thing they can't manipulate, time. Time is revealing the pattern of their lives. A trail of broken hearts, estranged family members, and burned bridges. At night, They can see the trail behind them, and it's getting longer. They are running out of new territory. They are running out of people who don't know who they really are. The world is getting smaller. There is a specific kind of horror in realizing you have spent your life being a parasite. Even if they don't have the words for it, they feel the rot. They feel the lack of substance. They are a collection of stolen traits and mirrored behaviors. Without someone to mirror, they have no shape. They are a liquid trying to find a container, and the night is a vast, containerless ocean. This collapse is the inevitable end stage of the narcissistic cycle. You didn't cause it, and you certainly can't fix it. By staying no contact, you are simply allowing them to experience the natural consequences of their own actions. You are letting the law of cause and effect do the work you were never meant to do. You are finally free of the burden of carrying their darkness for them. Now, let's talk about you. While they are spiraling in that dark room, I want you to look at where you are. You are grieving. You are hurting. But you are feeling. You have a capacity for depth and authenticity that they will never, ever understand. Your pain is the price of your humanity, and it is a price worth paying to be free from the hollow prison they live in every single night. The no contact isn't about them, it's about creating a sacred space where you can finally hear your own voice again. For so long, your mind was crowded with their needs, their moods, and their criticisms. Now, the silence is yours to fill. It might feel scary at first, like a vast empty field. But in that field, you can plant whatever you want. You can grow a life that is entirely yours. I want you to realize that you've already won. The moment you decided that your peace was more important than their drama, the game ended. They are still playing on a board you've already walked away from. Let them have the game. Let them have the strategies and the lies. You have the reality. You have the truth. And the truth is the only thing that can actually lead to a restful night's sleep. Tonight, when you lie down, I want you to perform a different kind of ritual. Instead of wondering what they are doing, I want you to acknowledge what you are doing. You are breathing. You are safe. You are no longer waiting for a text that will make or break your day. You are the source of your own validation now. That is a power they can never take back because they never gave it to you. Healing isn't a straight line. Some nights will be harder than others. Some nights the ghost of them will feel very close. But remember, a ghost has no power unless you give it a body. Do not give their memory your energy. Do not feed the phantom. When the thoughts come, let them pass through you like a breeze. They are just echoes of a storm that has already moved offshore. You are on solid ground. You are learning the most important lesson of your life, that you are enough. You don't need a narcissist to tell you you're worthy, and you certainly don't need them to tell you you're good. Your goodness is inherent. It's in the way you care, the way you try, and the way you've survived things that would have broken a lesser person. You are a survivor, but more than that, you are an overcomer. The narcissist's nightly spiral is a tragedy of their own making. It's a closed loop of self-destruction. But your story is an open road. You are heading toward a version of yourself that is wiser, stronger, and more discerning. You will love again, but you will love differently. You will love from a place of wholeness, not from a place of lack. You will never settle for a shadow ever again. Think of the peace that is coming. A night where you don't even think to check their social media. A night where their name is just a word that used to mean something, but doesn't anymore. That night is closer than you think. Every hour of no contact is a brick in the wall of your freedom. You are building a fortress of self-respect, and it is beautiful to behold from this side of the fence. Rest now. Let the darkness be a blanket, not a shroud. You have fought a long, hard battle, and you deserve the quiet. Let the narcissists stay in their blue light glow, searching for a ghost of the person you used to be. You aren't that person anymore. You've evolved. You've outgrown the smallness of their world. You belong to the light now, even when the sun is down. You are finally home. Remember this truth as you close your eyes. Their silence is a desperate attempt to stay relevant, but your silence is the sound of a soul reclaiming its throne. You were the only real thing in their life, and now that you're gone, they are finally seeing what it's like to live in a world without you. They are stuck with themselves, but you get to be free. Sleep well. The victory is already yours.